Diecast Norps is a channel devoted to the teen to adult toy collector, pop culture fans, and fellow nerd enthusiasts. This is a PG-13 channel. I might say some shit. Viewer and parental discretion is advised. And welcome back to the show at 507 viewers from the last count that I've actually made today. I could not thank you enough for getting me past my 500 viewer count and everything, and I'm really ecstatic to come back and say it's time for, once again, for another episode of Diecast Norp Galactic Hooligan. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming in, guys, girls, everyone in between, the AI, the aliens up above, but especially our AI overlords. Please, just let us, we should strike a deal. You know what I mean? I love the robots. I want to make sure that, come back and talk to me in a little bit. But anyway, so one question I keep on getting asked is, Norbs, when are you going to do Legacy Prime? Norbs, did you do Legacy Prime yet? Did you do the Laser Prime yet? Hey man, what about that Legacy Prime? Today is the day, everyone, because I didn't think that I was actually really going to get into Legacy Prime as much or anything like that, and I kept on thinking, well, I don't know, I was just kind of judging him for those gimpy arms that I keep on feeling like he actually has and everything, but I got a chance to check him out, and thanks to fantastic hooligan Martin Sebastian, he once again came through for me and getting Legacy Prime, Laser Prime, and all his 90s goodness. And really, I wish I could use the music of Gunship right now and everything to sink this whole 90s feeling in. But let me tell you something. This guy isn't so bad. I actually got a chance to play around with him. Yeah, I think his arms are actually still gimpy, but we're going to be talking about that in the review. So, thanks for joining me once again. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It's a small step for you, but it's a giant leap for me as I want to tread forth into 500 billion subscribers. But let's keep it simple. Let's get to 1,000 next and then see what actually happens, In any case, thanks for joining me. We're actually going to be doing kind of like a double review here because we're actually going to be doing Legacy Prime and also something from Larkin's Lair. And he actually supplied to me the upgrades for this guy. So we're actually going to be taking a look at both products today. And welcome to the review. Welcome back, everyone, and I'm really ecstatic to bring this guy over to you. I actually got this guy from Herculean hooligan Martin Sebastian, who actually went above and beyond once again and everything, and he actually went through snow and sleet and everything, uphill, barefoot, you know what I mean? And he was actually able to get this guy for me. I really appreciate you. Now, I really don't know if I really wanted this guy or anything like that. I love Optimus Prime, he's actually kind of my pinnacle of hero-dom and everything, but at the same time, Laser Prime was actually one of those guys. I actually had him in the Scourge version, and which is also a Nemesis Prime take on Optimus Prime and everything. So I actually have him and everything, and I really thought that he was actually really great. So as far as a toy, he still stands up to today, and I'm probably going to make some comments about that later on. Spoilers. But aside from that, this guy actually really came out pretty nicely and everything, and I really wanted him to come out where he actually had these things over here, right? This firing mechanism and everything. I would have loved that, but we're actually going to get on with that in a second. Just let's take a look at this 90s box, because this is actually very cool. You actually have Prime over here looking as Mad Max as possible and everything. You know, you've gotta love that. You've gotta love him coming out with like his whole entire salvo, like just this whole volley of this whole volley of missiles coming out of here and everything. That's actually really, really cool. And of course, also we actually get this shot right over here, and every time I see this Prime right over here, I keep on thinking to myself, there may be surprises in our future or something. I'm really hoping that that's the case and everything like that, because like I would love to see a Commander class Prime or something, you know? Something that actually rivals Hotshot, something that rivals Optimus Prime and everything. I would love to see that, because like that's what that keeps on telling me. I don't know, am I wrong? But there we go. There's some product shots right over here on the side as well. And we actually have the whole entire setup right over here. And some of it is actually, look how cool we could have actually done this and everything like that. But some of it is actually very much on key with what we're actually getting. So with that being said, we are going to turn our attention over here to the main product himself, Laser Prime, and all of his laser goodness and everything. And he is pretty cool, actually. I like it a lot. Now, I know a lot of you fans were actually looking for Laser Prime because of his mystique and everything like that. He is actually very cool. He's actually an oil tanker, and they actually put like a lot of great details into this. Actually, the one thing I'm actually a big fan of this, on Laser Prime here, is the fact that we actually get like a fully realized trailer here and everything, and that's actually really nice. They didn't cut any corners this time around or anything like that, as they actually did with our, Earthrise, or with your Kingdom or Earthrise Optimus Prime or anything. You know, like, I love the fact that they filled out everything in here. I love the beefier wheels on the front and everything. There is a lot of like good stuff over here. There's like a lot of like, I love the paint that's actually used over here. That's always just like a good point to me and everything. I love that they colored the smokestacks. I really want to see what this is actually going to look like in Bayverse Prime colors, because they're almost there. You know, they have the flames over here and everything. It would just be cool to like actually see this in blue. Like we actually kind of like have like the Bayverse symbol right over here. So that's actually really cool. These are just, you can actually see like some things going on in the windshield over here and everything. But aside from that, they're very, very nice. I really love everything that's actually going on here. He actually has the back of this tanker and everything also. There are places where headlights could have actually where like backlights could have actually gone also and everything like that. The detailing here is really superb. We come up to the top and then look at all this detailing over here as well. I really like what they're actually doing here and everything. And if you actually saw what I had over here and everything like that, I'm actually going to save that up for another part of this review here and everything. But like really, really nicely done. There's like a small like glimmer in here also and everything like that. Like I like what they actually did with the plastic on this. Very, very nice. I like the swirling that's actually going on here. I don't know if anyone's actually looking to see Laser Optimus Prime like put right on the sides or anything like that, but in a way I love the fact that this didn't come with it or anything like that. I would love to see like another Autobot logo over here or something instead, because when you actually have Laser Optimus like written like all the way on here, it's kind of giving him away, right? Like everybody's actually gonna know who he is and everything, right? Anyway, let's lift this off over here and let's continue looking at the details of the truck mode itself and everything. Like there are like a few changes that are actually going on here, especially with transformation. There's some things that are actually the same and some things that are actually just really interestingly different on this guy. And we're actually going to take you into that in a few minutes. But first off, before we actually go through comparisons, let's take you through the actual instruction booklet here and everything. It is big. It is exactly what you would actually expect for Optimus Prime and everything, being a flagship character and everything. And I'll actually have some things to say about that also. But again, the purple and teal, I really love what they actually do over here and everything, as far as like showing you exactly what he actually does and what to actually do with the tanker and everything. And if you can actually go through all of this, let's see here, and now you know how to fly a blimp. Isn't that amazing? Oh man, I can't wait to go on rides with you guys. I really want to say that Laser Optimus actually kind of like has kind of like a Mad Max thing going for him and everything. But let me take you through a couple of like a comparison. Here he is with the OG guy over here, the one who kind of like started everything right over here. Here he is with Siege Optimus. And who's more Mad Max? Because I kind of feel like it's actually Siege Optimus still and everything like that, with his Gatling guns on the front and everything. I kind of wish that this guy actually came with that kind of thing going for him and everything like that. That would have actually been pretty awesome. Earthrise or Your Kingdom Optimus Prime over here, and they really look good together. I really love everything that's actually going on over here. I still want to say that as far as Optimi are actually concerned, as far as Optimuses are actually concerned, I really want to say that this guy really does it better more than anyone else, followed by Siege, and then followed by this guy. And we're gonna follow this up with the OG himself. Here he is, Scourge or Nemesis Prime. And really, this guy, there is such an apples to oranges kind of thing going on here and everything. Like, this guy has actually stood up through time. I don't even know how long I've actually had this guy. Is it like 20 years that I've actually had this guy? He hasn't even lost a gleam in the sheen of his trailer here or anything like that, which is impressive, because sometimes I'm actually really a horrible collector and everything like that when it comes down to this. But like this guy and Laser Prime is totally dwarfed by this guy. He may be better engineering wise and everything like that, but I will actually say, for anything, this guy is actually great. He actually holds a lot of great tricks in his caboose here. You can actually twist this thing right over here, and you can actually fire out discs that are actually lodged right on the top and everything, which was actually amazing for its time and everything. There was so much goodness that was actually going on in here, and I love this. Like, you can actually even kind of like turn this also and everything like that, so you could actually aim at enemies and everything like that as you're actually driving. And that's actually such a cool toy detail and everything like that. I don't really think that today's toys actually do that as much or as well as they used to back then and everything. Just let me just do this one more time so you guys and girls can actually see the magnificence that is Nemesis Prime. Look at that. Just, you know, again, like, it works perfectly still for all this time that's actually been on my shelf and everything. Just really amazing. Now, this Prime actually also has something that's actually on the top of his roof also and everything. It's kind of like a gun. I think you could actually give it like a little bit of leeway. Like, when you transform him, it actually does come off a lot easier and everything. But if you actually transform them halfway, you can probably just kind of like lock this, you can probably just like etch this up a little bit and everything, so you can actually give him a little bit of like a firing gun on the top and everything, which is actually cool because he actually does have this Mad Max thing going for him and everything like that. But at the same time, I just wish it was actually as cool as this, you know? Anyway, so those are some of the comparisons that we actually have over here and everything for this Prime. Let us transform this guy, and then we are actually going to see everything that we can actually see. Now that I actually have just the right light and everything, you can actually see that gold detail that's actually over here, more yellow than gold and everything like that, and that's actually really nice. And one thing that actually does carry over for this guy as the Nemesis Prime version actually had, was that Nemesis Prime was actually able to carry his sword underneath and everything. Now, my Prime over here actually does. Laser Prime absolutely does. But for some reason, mine is like a lot looser than it is on any other Primes that I've actually seen in reviews and everything like that. So it's actually really easy to knock this off. And I'm pretty sure that this sword, being a little bent in the box and everything like that, might have something to do with it. So I might have to like do something to like actually get that unbent and everything. I always try just trying to just get this fixed in here and everything, and it works sometimes, it doesn't work on others, and I don't know, it's actually like a hit or a miss for me. I'm actually going to show you where I keep this later on and everything, but this Prime is actually going to go through a Larkin's Lair upgrade in just a little while, so that isn't really going to be like too much of a problem for the rest of the time that I'm actually going to be having him and everything. And then I actually have like another place to store his weapons and everything, so it is what it is. And just to get you all salivating over what I'm actually going to be including in the Larkin's Lair upgrade, and so you can actually see where you can actually follow him and everything like that. He has an Etsy store, and yeah, there you go. You can actually scan his QR code, and there we are. And as far as what he's actually sent me, he actually did send me the G2 Starscream upgrade over here. I really want to have some reason to use this. This is actually really cool though. I love this, and I already used the two blasters that I actually had for RC here. I just mentioned to him that I really love Pterosaur's guns here and everything, and if he actually made a couple of printouts in silver here and everything, I would absolutely use it for RC. And I know he said something about bringing out a couple of other options for RC and everything like that, so be on the lookout for that. But this actually makes me really, really happy here and everything. That gleam that's actually in there is just perfect. I love that so much. But in any case, I'm actually going to go on with Prime's things over here, because it actually comes in this little baggie and everything like that. And that's actually great. And he was actually good enough to put together this gun for me and everything like that. I know it came with a few extra parts and everything, so that's actually really awesome. Good on you, Larkin. I really appreciate that. So, and just let me start off by, let's see, where am I going to start off by? I'm actually going to start off with the one familiar thing that we actually had from Earthrise or Kingdom Prime, where you actually put in the tankers right over here on the sides. Now, mine are actually kind of loose and everything, so a little bit of kikis and I'll actually be fine and everything like that. But watch out for that and everything, because that could actually be kind of hit or miss for certain collectors. So there we go. Now I'm just going to loosen the arms up over here and then just bring them out a little bit, and then we're actually going to loosen this piece right over here, the steps that actually go into the door here and everything. We're actually just gonna unclip that, and that actually gets clipped right on the inside right over here. There's a small little clip piece right over here that goes into this peg, and there we are. And now we are just going to bring this down, and just like on Earthrise or Siege Prime, we're just going to close the knees right over here. We're actually going to open up the feet. There we go. He's actually got really nice blue feet here. I kind of wish that it actually still translated throughout the whole entire body, but there we go. And I think that's really, aside from the helmet, that's the only real piece of blue that we're actually going to get on him here. And we're just going to open up the front cab right over here that actually splits in two, and we're actually just going to nudge that. We're just going to nudge that over just a little bit right over here. You'll actually see a grill right over here and everything. And we're just going to turn the waist 180 right here. We're going to separate the legs. Then after all of that, we're just going to bring the front cab up and over, and we're going to start. Now, remember one thing, if you're actually like moving these arms right over here, they're actually going to stop because they actually, there's this piece, the chest piece, that's actually going to stop it from like moving. So you actually have to move this piece first. And after you move this and get this grill piece all the way over here to form the, once you actually move this grill piece right over here and just click it in, you'll actually hear a really satisfying click. Now be careful of this also. I've actually had this fall apart on me a couple of times and everything like that because it is actually frictioned in there. So there we go, and there we are. And then we actually have his chest and his midsection right over here, so that's actually great. And then just start bringing this arm out a little bit over here. There is just like a small distance right over here between his arms and his shoulders right over here. So there we are. And then just give the shoulders, just give the forearms a little bit of a twist. Also make sure that this actually doesn't fall out because there's a mushroom peg right over here that will actually kind of like slip sometimes. There are actually a few people who actually had that slip quite a bit and everything. I just want to make sure that you guys are actually aware. So there we go. We'll just give this a little turn right over here to get it past the smokestacks, and we'll just bring that out. We'll bring this arm out also, and then we'll actually swing his bicep right over here. Then we are going to bring this back a little bit to give it a little bit of room because there are actually going to be a couple of pegs that actually peg right in here on the inside. So do that, peg those in, there we go, and then peg this in, and you're actually going to hear like a really nice satisfying click right there too. And then just bring in the arms, there we go. And the arms over here, they actually friction right in there and everything. And we're just going to open up his forearms right over here, and his hands are actually right there. Again, kind of loose, and my hinge right over here for his elbows are actually like a little loose also and everything. But that hasn't really spoiled anything for me. I haven't felt the need to like actually fix it or anything like that just yet, but I might just come back to it. There we go, other arm. And now we're just going to bring this here, bring down the faux shoulders right over here. And then we're just going to bring this over here. And in the cavity of the cab, we actually have Optimus's head for the head reveal, and just bring it out and just click it right into the deltoid area right over here. And now we just want to come back over here, and there is like a clever thing that they actually did over here with the cab itself and everything, in order to like make sure that you didn't have like any gaps whatsoever or anything like that, because some people might complain about it. They actually put like rockets on the inside and everything, and I think that's actually pretty cool. And there we go. And all we have to do is close that. And once you've actually gotten that all done, we actually have Laser Optimus Prime in his robot mode. And now let's transform the other piece right over here. Now, I actually have this on its stand. And when you're actually tabbed into truck mode, you actually tab it in like this. But that was a foreshadowing of events right there. But when you're actually putting it like just on the side right over here, you just want to like actually put this like take out the kickstand and everything, put it on the side, and it actually stays. But if you're actually transforming it and everything, you just want to just come over here, and I think it's over here. Yeah, you release it from all the way up top here. You split this all the way on this side here, and then you bring this down. And this is actually kind of cool. I like the fact that you actually have to give this a little bit of a twist, and then collapse everything right down here. And you just bring out the arm here. There we are. And that's actually great on itself, but you can also have this machine gun come out right over here, and that's actually great. And then you can actually see everything that you can actually keep in here. You have loads of space for other weapons and everything like that also, but this is where you're actually keeping his shield and axe, and this is actually where I'm actually keeping his sword and another weapon after the upgrade. Now we can actually get over to Prime himself. This is actually kind of like a hit and miss and everything like that. Like, I like some of the things that he actually does do. Like, Prime is actually a very, very cool character. Just let's go in on his face a little bit. Like, I like the detailing that's actually going in here. I just kind of wish that it looked like right over here on the side, it looked like they were actually going to like paint it or something right on the inside of the eye, but they never did for mine or anything like that. And so I actually have like these black dead eyes and everything like that all together, mixed in with this pretty awesome head sculpt and everything. So I kind of wish that they actually followed that through and everything, you know what I mean? And I don't know, like, I think that's actually a major miss there. We actually have the Matrix of Leadership. It's actually like a lot different from the previous Matrix that we actually had with Optimus Prime and everything, with the Earthrise version and everything. It's a lot easier to take out, and then you actually have this kind of like felt design over here and everything. And I'm actually just going to give you a quick comparison because I think I might have one handy someplace. I would actually take it at Prime and everything like that. But since I actually have this other one here and everything, why not use it, right? So there we go. I think this is the one that actually might have actually come with Rodimus or something, you know, and it's a lot different in shape. A lot of people actually think that this is actually cool because I think it actually kind of like mimics the old animation style more than anything else. But I really love how this one is and everything more than anything else, because I love how it actually fits into our #1 Prime leader here. So with this version of it, that just looks beautiful. And even when with painting the inside of Prime's chest over here, everything just looks beautiful. It's actually almost mystical, really. You know, I love the fact of how this was actually done. On this version of Prime, I can't help but to think that all the red over here and everything just makes everything just kind of dull and everything like that. And is it me, or is this like open so you can actually get some light in here and everything? I haven't really tried that yet or anything, but I kind of feel like that actually kind of like looks a little dull to me and everything like that, and kind of like feel as though there should have actually been a little bit more done on. Let's go on with the rest of this guy, because the rest of this guy isn't so bad or anything like that. He actually has like this whole entire salvo right over here, and I love that so much. And I think that this is like, if you actually go on the inside here, is it Blast Effects compatible? Yeah, if you actually really wanted to use this and like kind of like put like a couple of Blast Effects on the in the middle of these things, sure, you can actually use that, and that's actually very cool. Yeah, like if you actually use Rodimus's like Blast Effects or something like that, that would actually be held right there, and that's great. And when you close this right over here, you actually can use your blast effects right on the inside here too and everything. So all you have to do is plug that over here, and let's find another blast effect. And you can actually plug this right over here also, and you can actually like just have him like going to town on Decepticons and everything like that. So that's actually really cool, and you can actually use it in either ports right over here. So that's actually really nice. I really still love the fatter wheels on this and everything, you know, and I love the fact that we actually have like this great silver paint that's actually going on the hubcaps and everything like that. That's actually awesome. And these actually have the same thing going and everything like that, so really, really nice. I think these might be clipped in or something. These might be like friction clipped in or something like that, but I'm not sure. Like, the detailing on this is actually very, very cool. Where it actually loses it for me right over here, excuse me guys, is this right over here on his arm, like the upper arm, just is always just like the thing for me and everything like that. And I kind of feel as though it kind of like makes him look a lot less powerful and everything like that. And like we actually have like Optimus over here with his like amazing arms, you know what I mean? And like these blocky arms just look powerful, and they look amazingly energized and everything like that. They look like they can actually punch through a mountain or something like that. With this, with the faux arms and everything like that, I don't really think that he can actually do just that or anything, you know? So that's one of the things that actually ruins it for me. Also, when you're actually comparing the fist on this guy over here as opposed to this version of Optimus over here, the Earthrise / Kingdom version, where he can actually open up his hands and everything, that is actually brilliant to me, and I love the fact that it's actually just like a full hand and everything. With this one, you actually have the sculpt, and it's actually like, it just doesn't really look as complete to me or anything like that. And I mean, even though you do actually have like a complete thumb, you actually have the 4 fingers over here and everything, but I don't know, it just really just looks kind of like they actually kind of like rushed through the job or something. Or like Hasbro or Takara was actually just trying to like make it look like a little bit more kid friendly, I think, you know? And even when you actually have like the Fist of Siege Prime over here, just really, really nicely done and everything. It's like a good clenched fist and everything like that. I really think that that's actually very cool on him and everything. But these fists over here just kind of like make me feel as though it's actually just kind of like a half C or something like that, or kind of like maybe, oh, that's what it reminds me of. Kind of makes me feel like it's like kind of like almost like a Lego guy or something like that. You know what I mean? So I just really wish that there was like a little bit more work done on that and everything. And hopefully we might see something in the future where we'll actually get like a full fist and everything. I mean, I'm not really disappointed in the paint or anything like that. I love the fact that we're actually getting blue fist again. You know, like that's actually great. I'm actually really happy that it wasn't silver or black or anything like that, but it's actually the full blue fist that Prime should actually have and everything, you know? But aside from that, let's see, let's go down here. Over here we actually have like a new design right in the middle of his crotch here and everything like that. We actually have vents over here where he should have actually had like this thing going and everything like that. So that's actually kind of new, you know? I thought that everything actually kind of like carried over, but it looks like they actually really made some like new design points and everything. The legs are actually still pretty much the same and everything like that. The knees are actually very much the same. They actually did change a lot over here on his femur and everything like that. Like his legs are actually very much changed. And the only thing about this is that when you actually go to the back, you actually have all of this empty space over here and everything, which I just do not like whatsoever. You have like all of this, and you know, like he actually kind of like feels like a heftier character too, you know, which is actually kind of like the thing here. But like at the same time, you have all of this over here, and that's where Larkin's Lair actually comes in. So let me start going in here, and then we're actually going to go through articulation and everything, but I'm kind of excited about getting these Larkin Lair pieces on. In the Larkin's Lair pieces, we actually get this amazingly beautifully done pistol right over here. And you know what? I think he actually did come back over here and fix everything up for me. I'm not sure if this was all 3D printed all together or anything like that, because I've actually seen quite a few people actually get like their pieces actually all separated and everything. But if he actually did put this together for me, I really, really appreciate you, brother, because like this is actually a great gun. Something that this version of Prime should have actually gotten with this whole entire assortment. Like I think they were actually trying to like use this, and this was actually the gun that they actually had on here and you actually have on the truck mode itself and everything. Now in here you can actually use this as like a pistol and everything, and that's actually okay. But when you're actually making Laser Prime, I kind of feel like if you're actually not coming over and giving us like all the weapons and everything like that he should have actually gotten in the first place, that it actually becomes like almost like a halfly done job and everything like that. And I just kind of really like dig that all together. I'm actually going to work this into his arm a little bit, or I think that like when it comes down to 3D prints and everything, when it comes down to 3D prints, not everything's actually going to match up right away or everything like that. So there may be some cutting that I might have to do, but already just that alone and everything makes Laser Prime actually look a lot more like Laser Prime and everything, you know? Either that, and I actually got like another part from Larkin and everything like that, which he didn't actually have to print out for me or anything like that. But we actually have Prime's blaster over here, and that's actually really, really cool. I actually use this for my Earthrise Prime and everything like that, but you can actually have like your druthers of different things that you could actually use, and that is actually really cool also. But let me tell you something, as soon as I got this pistol, there was no doubt in my mind of where it was actually really going to go and everything. And that actually went over to my True Blue Prime over here. So I'm just going to plug that in over here. And that actually makes Prime look more like Prime to me and everything, you know? Like, that's actually really cool. Needless to say, this guy actually looks great with his pistol here. So we're actually going to keep on going on with the Larkin's Lair upgrades and everything, because we actually want to take care of all of this waffling over here. And thanks to this little baggie over here and everything, we're going to take care of that right now. Especially since I'm not ever going to use that one piece for the this peg right over here for his laser sword and everything. So I'm just gonna plug this over here. Now this is actually kind of like more of a black as opposed to the color that we actually have in the Prime now. But already, just that alone just makes him look so much better. Let me just plug this in, and it's actually just really easy to plug in. So I'm just gonna do this too. Look at that. Coming together, and he didn't forget about these pieces. Now you're actually going to be missing like the secondary port and everything like that, but do you really need it when you actually have like these upgrades and everything? I don't really think so. So I'm just going to plug this in. I think this actually goes right in here. Actually, hold on, let me figure out exactly how these actually go. Oh, there we go. That's it. So we just want to plug this in here, and we just want to plug this in right on the bottom over here. And just let me do this, and that just fits in really, really nicely. And I'm glad that I was actually able to do it on screen here, because now we actually have Laser Prime for what he's actually supposed to be here and everything, and that's actually really, really great. And the fact that he doesn't have any more waffling here and everything just really makes me like him so much more. So let me just take you into a little bit of articulation. Articulation for this new Prime actually stands as this. He actually has a 360 on his head. Mine is super, super tight. So whatever you guys actually do and everything, like if you guys actually do get him and everything, just be leery about that, because like I think that I don't know exactly how tight it is on the inside or anything like that. So I mean, it's actually really, really tight, and I don't think that there's a way of getting into it or anything like that to like maybe sand down a couple of things or anything like that. So that's really it. Just be careful with that. Let's see. He actually does come with waist articulation, as you know. He actually can go all the way out like this. He actually can go up right over here. And this is the thing that actually just ruins it for me with these smaller shoulders and everything. You actually have to move this faux shoulder out in order to get this all the way up. And he doesn't go all the way up like other Primes actually did and everything, you know? Like, again, like with this, I love that altogether. Like, I think that should actually be the standard and everything. And I know that it actually came because of the design and everything like that. Don't get me wrong. I think it's actually a cool design. I really kind of wish that this could have actually moved also and everything like that. Like maybe have this on like some kind of like
hinge or something, or some kind of ball joint on the inside or something like that on the inside of this piece, so you could actually move the whole entire thing, because I kind of want Prime to actually do this whole thing where he actually has like the whole entire arm just connected and just firing off everything. That's actually great. But like with this, you're not really getting that all together. If you actually did want to move the arm a little bit up and everything like that, you could always like move that shoulder piece a little bit more and everything like that, and there you go. But I that's kind of like one of those type of things that actually just bothers me about the figure, and it just might be me being like me being spoiled on the fact that we actually have like had such great figures and everything like that. I didn't want to see Legacy actually die or anything like that, and Legacy has actually been hitting it so far and everything like that. Like they've actually just been batting 1,000 and everything like that. But when it actually comes down to this shoulder, that's the only thing that actually really made me lackluster, aside from like the legs and everything like that. I kind of wish we didn't actually have to order like specialty parts and everything like that to fill things in, but it actually keeps dudes like Larkin's Lair in business and everything. So what are you gonna do, you know? But we actually have this piece of his arm. We actually have like a bicep rotation right over here. Also, be careful of the bicep rotation. Like I said before, a lot of people have actually moved it and then it just completely falls apart and everything like that. I've actually heard way too many stories about that. So that's really it, just so you can actually be aware. We actually have a bicep curl right over here where you can actually get 90 degrees. We actually have like a wrist right over here, wrist articulation. If you can manipulate this a little bit more on the inside and everything like that, you have everything that the ball joint can actually offer. So do it with it what you will. Let's see. He actually kicks out that far like a champion, you know? He actually kicks out to the back and everything without anything holding him up whatsoever, so that's actually brilliant. He actually does the full kung fu just like all Optimus Prime should and everything, so that's actually pretty cool. I always love that. He actually also bends at the knee. Let's see, they have like thigh rotation. They have thigh rotation right over here, so that's actually great. He actually does come with some dorsey, some flexion and everything because of the fact that he actually bends right over here at the toe, and he actually does have ankle tilt, so that's actually great. And it actually does make him a pretty good Prime, not as well rounded as say like our previous Primes or anything like that, but he's actually pretty okay. As far as weaponry on Prime, we actually have like his whole entire thing right over here. You actually have like this little fix-it station and everything like that, so you can actually bring a character over and like have him get like repaired and it's that sort of thing. So that's actually kind of cool. Let's see, you actually have his sword, which is also like one of the pieces that are that's actually a part of like what Laser Prime is actually supposed to be. So all you have to do is just kind of manipulate this into his hand, and there we go. And that sword is brilliant. I really like this sword a lot, actually. Like, the only thing that I kind of wish is that this were a little bit less bent and everything, and hopefully with time, with it being in this trailer and everything, we'll actually get that, you know? But I really like that design here and everything. He also comes with this axe right over here, and at first I didn't think that I was actually going to like this as much as I actually do, but I really wound up like really loving this axe a lot. You know, this axe is actually just like a very cool design to me. And let's get that into his other arm right over here, like a right barbarian, you know? So that's actually very, very cool, and that I'm actually all on board for. And like, look at this, just these two weapons. I love that. And you know, like a lot of people were actually kind of like down about the Energon weapons. I really love these weapons a lot. Actually, I've actually been liking them a little bit too much and everything. So let's get this going.
And here we are. And I've actually just discovered that I didn't talk about a couple of things in my last the video that I'm actually doing now. And I'm going to talk about them right now. First off, as far as weaponry is actually concerned,
Of course, he can actually store all his weapons right in here. But since we actually get the Larkin's Lair upgrade, he can actually store this right into his, right in here. And that actually stores right on a peg, right on the inside. And everything actually closes up really, really well. So if you actually wanted to use the Larkin's Lair upgrade and everything, it's actually easily stored. All you have to do is close up that door, and there we are. And make sure that you actually keep the pistol right on the up position, because then you can actually close that up, and there you are. Hold on, I'm not doing it right, but like, there we go. And now you get the idea. Now he can actually store everything in here. But wait, that's not all. We all know that he actually comes with his axe and his sword accessory. You can actually put that together, of course. But what I actually failed to realize, I was actually trying to put the matrix in here, and as we actually all know, he can actually put the matrix right into, you can actually put the matrix not on his sword, but right over here on the axe. And once you actually do that, you have the mighty matrix saber. And I think that actually looks pretty cool, actually, you know, as far as like mythical weapons could actually be concerned and everything. So you just put that in his hands, and now he actually has matrix power to defeat any foe and light anyone's darkest hour. But I don't know, like, what does this actually keep on reminding me of? Convoy more than anything else, you know? Every time I keep on holding this guy, it doesn't like give me like laser prime like feels or anything like that. I kind of feel he actually kind of like feels more like Convoy than anything else. And I think I kept on like looking at the colors and everything like that, and just the build all together and everything, you know what I mean? So I'm not sure if this guy's actually going to finally be my Convoy in my collection and everything, but whether he's Laser Prime or Convoy, he's actually still pretty okay. Now, back to the video. Let's just get this going. Blast effects compatibility. I love it. So there we go. And there is your Laser Prime. There is your leader, G2 fans. Like, this is actually very cool. Like, again, I'm not really a big fan of these arms or anything like that. Like, I really wish that this were actually like a lot more substantial. But he doesn't look bad though. He really, really doesn't. And I'm actually kind of like, I like him. I don't know, like, it's not like a love-hate relationship that I actually have with this either or anything like that. It's just like, I just kind of feel as though Prime should actually have like a lot more substantiability and everything like that, because I'm actually looking at him like this, and he looks like he's actually way too skinny, even though you actually have him right over here, and like it looks like the chests are actually kind of like on par and everything like that. It's just the shoulders and everything. And even when you actually have the shoulders right over here, let's see, there. Now you actually have like a full look at the shoulder and everything like that, and just it just looks weird to me and everything like that, because this shoulder is actually just kind of like slapped right against his body and everything like that all together. So I don't know, but like, if you actually have this down, not so bad or anything like that. Not so like so much of an eyesore, but I know it's there, you know what I mean? And like, that's one of the things that actually kills me about it. I'm actually going to go through comparisons. Oh, wait, let me come back over to this now. Now, I really love that they actually put like so much thought into like his trailer and everything, but let me show you something. If we actually brought this in with like our old school Nemesis Prime here and everything like that, aka Scourge, like with the border sword and everything like that, and like the freaking amazing light piping that he actually had here and everything like that, like that's actually great. But not only that, but he didn't just come with this like little thing right over here or anything like that. He actually came with this trailer over here, baby, and this thing was just amazing. Let me show you everything that this thing actually does, because I'm actually taking this into extra time and everything like that, just so we can actually take a look at this. Because open this up and we'll just bring this out like so. Oh, look at this. Now, this is an apples to oranges moment here and everything like that. Just let me bring out this. Look at this. Oh, wait, you're not even getting that. Look at this. He actually has like a weapon salvo right over here that he can actually bring out and everything. Not only that, but he also came with like missiles. I actually have all the missiles here and everything. And I don't remember if they're fireable or anything like that, but oh yes they are. We actually still have this thing going. So let's take a look at that real quick. And fire. Maybe not. You know? Oh wait, I think I hit the right. Yeah, there we go. The spring's actually still working here and everything. So I'm actually surprised. And he actually not only just came with this, but he actually had like a few more of these. This was actually done in a time when toys were actually like just made to like actually just like be fun for kids and everything like that. You know what I mean? And like a time where parents weren't really worried about their kids actually poking their eyes out or anything like that. You know what I mean? But there we go. And one more should actually do the trick. And there we go. Isn't that cool, everybody? Like, I really love this. Now, let's just take out one more weapon over here. And this was actually like a missile that actually came with Scourge. It had like a soft tip and everything like that, but there was a reason for that, because there is another weapon that's actually in here that actually gets put in here, and then there's like a firing mechanism. But there's so much playability on these guys and everything. It's actually really incredible. And not only that, but Scourge himself actually had this weapon that you could actually take off from over here, and you could actually install it in his hand right over here, and bam, badass as can be, you know? That's actually very, very cool. And the fact that we actually have all of this going on a toy that's actually like, I think for the back in the day and everything like that, it was like about 20 bucks. We're actually spending like about 50 bucks on this guy and everything like that, you know? And I don't know, like it's actually kind of like very apples to oranges here and everything like that with these two guys. But again, a toy that has actually stood the test of time and everything like that. And this guy is actually really great also. They just do so many, they're just different. They're just so different from each other, you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm actually going to stop like going into like my spiel here and everything like that. But these guys actually look great together. They look like they should actually be right enemies and everything like that. Only because like this guy is actually so much bigger and everything, you know? But I'm going to give you a couple more comparisons. Just to let you know, guys and girls, I actually found it. There was this button that's actually right on the top over here that releases this valve that goes right in here. And it actually gives you this little plunger where you could actually push this thing, and where you could actually push the plunger and then just like let the missile actually fly off. If that's not great, I don't know what is. Bet you all thought that this was actually going to become a Nemesis Prime review, right? Let me just get this guy out of the picture a little bit more. No, this is actually still a Laser Prime review. So I'm actually going to give you Legacy Laser Prime with Siege Optimus, and they really look good together. Earthrise Optimus Prime, and I just think he's a better bot. He's just a better bot. Nemesis Prime, because I don't think I will ever get tired of talking about how cool Scourge actually is. Like, this guy is just amazing. And RC and Laser Prime here, and they look really, really good together. Wave mates, mind you, with their Larkin's Lair upgrades and everything. So, like, this actually looks really spectacular to me. These are just brilliant, shiny, just like really gorgeous weapons and everything like that, and they look great in RC. So like, as far as this is actually concerned, this actually looks like a great team over here, although she is actually a part of the blue team more than anything else, you know? But this looks great. Optimus himself is actually a very cool character. Aside from my gripes, I really do think he's actually a very cool figure and everything, and kind of like worthy of like your Prime Shrine. And I only wish that I could have actually found my deluxe generations Laser Prime and everything like that. I thought I actually left him in my Prime Shrine. He wasn't there. I wanted to like actually have him for comparison and everything like that, because there was a lot to say about that figure too and everything. But who knows? I might actually come back to that again in like another review and everything. But here it is, and I'm gonna give you final thoughts in just a moment.
So, at the end of the day, is G2 Laser Prime actually worth it? I think he's actually very, very cool. There are a lot of things that I actually found fault with, but a lot of things that I was actually able to fix with just the right parts. But his arms are actually still going to be the part that's actually like leaving questions in my mind as to whether or not this guy will actually like stay on my shelf. I mean, as far as a Prime, he's awesome. As far as someone who can actually be put into my Prime Shrine, I think he's actually pretty great. But is this version of Prime one of the best figures that we can actually look for? I don't know. Like, a lot of you G2 fans will absolutely like be gone on this guy. Like, this guy is actually going to be one of the greatest figures you guys will ever have in your hands and everything. And to see a G2's Prime in today's day and everything, you know, it's great. And it does make me say that it's actually a great time to be a collector for everyone. But is he worth it? I don't know. Like, I think he's actually pretty cool. I actually had to get him, and I think that, you know, lanky, like, janky arms and everything like that aside, he actually does make a good character to put into your collection. But that's actually, beauty is always in the eye of the beholder, right? So, that's actually pretty much the way it's actually going to be with Laser Prime. And that's it for me, Diecast Norbs. Once again, bringing you through a trip through my nerddom. Thank you for actually joining me once again and everything. I really appreciate each and every one of you out there, and I appreciate the 507 that I've actually gotten so far. This is actually just great to me and everything like that. I couldn't thank you more for like making that happen for me. Remember, the most amazing, the most gangster thing that you can actually do is treating each other with kindness. Treat everyone out there with kindness, including yourselves, and make sure that you actually bring that all around to everywhere you go, because love is always the answer, and I want to make sure that kindness is actually flourishing out there. And as always, when these stop being magical, that's when I'll stop collecting. I will definitely talk to you soon.